What's up, Legion? Welcome back to a very exciting episode of I Still Call It a Lariat. We are a pro wrestling podcast. We have upgraded. I think we might actually be the most medium wellest pro wrestling podcast in the world. My name, of course, is stevezapf, and I am super excited because we get to review Progress. This was their September 28th show, Camden Lockup. And with me to review it, someone who I have turned on to Progress and is so excited to have back with us here with the Legion. And that is, of course, my buddy, Mr. Brock. Brock, how you doing today, brother?
Great, my man. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for tuning me into Progress, man. Or as they say, Progress. We're saying it wrong,
they do
man.
say Progress.
Progress. Yeah.
It's kind of like if you ever listen to James Bond movies, he says Omega instead of Omega.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it Progress while I'm on this program.
We might as well. But I mean, you love things of the British nature to begin with, so this was an easy sell for you.
Yeah. So we grew up on the British office before the U.S. one came out. We had cool older brothers that always seemed to have cool thing or find the stuff first, and we'd kind of backpack off it. And British Office is one me and my friends all fell in love with. And so we loved that Ricky Gervais style humor. And it was just the little words. I don't know, it's little quips. And then when you threw that into wrestling, it just blew my mind.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And it was good perfect. Wrestling. Yeah.
Not to mention, I need to thank the people over at Progress for contacting me to start watching and reviewing their stuff. They've really renewed my love of independent wrestling again and higher end, better. You know, they're reminding me of the type of wrestling that I love to watch because it is this. This is what they do is. I don't want to say it's perfect, but I think it's about as close as I can find to the wrestling I love to watch. It makes sense. There's hard hitting action. It does all the things I want out of a wrestling show.
So when the perspective I come from is definitely that bottom of the barrel indie stuff. That's where I fell in love with wrestling. So for me, it's like the top of the indie level. Like from the production, we were talking about the promotions they're throwing with it too.
Oh yeah,
even the entrances.
The entrances. The entrances look great. They have video, like you said. I think that building, that electric ballroom in the Camden part of London, that building is super awesome. Like that's an amazing looking building to shoot in. So I love the fact that you're on with me because I've been doing this by myself, and it's so much more fun when I get to talk to somebody else about this stuff. But let's jump into this a little bit. Actually, before we do, I'd like to let the Legion in on a secret. Mr. Brock is coming back to the Lariat Network full time. It's gonna be a thing. He's gonna start doing You Heard It Here Worst with Mr. Brock and possibly a co-host. We don't know yet, but
there'll be a co-host of some sort.
Someone will be there with him, but Mr. Brock is officially going to be hosting for the Lariat Network as well. We're super excited. We know, I don't know about anyone else, but I have missed Coal Mine. And Twin City Double Up and all of that stuff. I have missed everything that you do. So I'm so glad to get you back on with us, man.
I don't miss Twin Cities Double Up. That was just a terrible treading of water trying to stay alive and cling to the beauty that was Coal Mine. But I started, just because I was all excited to get back into podcasting, I started listening to Coal Mine from the beginning. We had something, man. It was good. I loved Coal Mine. It was fun.
We're going to have to dig Cole up, man. Maybe that is what we need.
There's potential. So actually, funny story. Evidently, my ex-wife and him are still in contact, of course. And they went out to lunch, and she texted me like, "Cole has a backpack of stuff for you." So I think I got the breakup backpack coming. Maybe we'll open it on the first episode and see what we pull out.
Yes, that's perfect.
I think that's how we have to start. We'll do it. I should be getting it next week.
Like you need to tell him to stay there while you look at some stuff though. Like at least look in there and then maybe start crying a little bit so that he feels bad. I know he doesn't feel bad about anything, but like
no, unfortunately, he's already passed the backpack off to him, I'm pretty sure. He refuses. And the worst is I was
Oh, this is the Cole backpack breakup. Oh, like
he passed it off. It's stuff I left at his house.
Oh no.
You know what the weird thing is, and I'm gonna call the stuff I left at his house was mostly stuff to prank him. So it was all these things that like were just like pranks purposely left there that he thought. Like one time I brought over 5 framed pictures of myself and hid them all over his place. And he didn't say anything for like 2 months and was like, "Do you want those pictures back?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "The pictures you left at my house." And he was talking about those. Like, they were in his sock drawers and stuff. It was weird.
That's amazing. Yeah. See, this is only this type of entertainment on both the Lariat Network. And
that's right. We'll get back.
You heard it here worst.
Yeah.
But let's get into Progress a little bit. So, like I said, this was Progress Chapter 184, Camden Lockdown. They're going to do another show in October that is going to be 185. I believe it's called Jump the Line. I'm looking forward to that. It looks like it's a little Halloween themed. And then real early into November is when they're doing 186, and they should be doing some cool stuff with that as well. One thing, I guess, because I usually watch the non-edited version of it, I never get to watch the announcer, the masked announcer, do his bit in the beginning. And really? I gotta tell you, man, he's hilarious. I didn't realize how funny he was. He was great.
Yeah. You know, and that was I don't think I had the sound on at first when I was watching that 100-volt one, and he came out, and just the look right away, I was like, "Oh, this is garbage." Like for the first second, but then I turned it on, he sucked me in right away. Like I was like, "Oh no, he's dressed perfectly." Like
he's supposed to be garbage. Yeah, like he's supposed to look like that.
Wonderful. Everything about him is great, and like I was like amped up as a viewer watching it on my phone. That was cool. He really got me going.
Oh, it's so good. And one thing I want to I always like to point out how into the show the fans are.
Yeah. They're definitely, it's got to be just a massively loyal base there.
Like the fans are massively loyal, but also like Showtime, and I say this all the time too, European fans put us to shame.
Oh yeah.
With like everything, but like especially with wrestling events, like they love to just show up and show out and like prove that they are louder and maybe even more obnoxious than everyone else in the world. But man, if they don't love this, and the proof was in the opening match. It's their brand new men's world heavyweight champion, Man Like Darius, versus somebody who I'm a huge fan of, and that's Charlie Sterling. Brock, what did you think of this match? I'll get your input on this one first.
I had a question about Charlie Sterling. They were talking about stuff. Was he actually making like a U.S. tour recently and doing stuff in AEW and TNA?
No, so Darius did. Man Like Darius did.
It's him. Okay.
The champion did.
I should know Charlie Sterling.
No,
I like them both though.
You should. I believe you should definitely know Charlie Sterling, because I think Sterling is a year or two away from being a worldwide star.
Sure. That's why I was wondering if I should have recognized him from any of the AEW. But no, I mean that was a gladiator match.
Yeah, it was really good. I really like Darius. My only knock on him ever is I think him singing or rapping at the start of his stuff is more over than his actual promos are. So like if you listen to him talk, you can tell he's way more comfortable on the mic when he's doing his music stuff, as opposed to when he's just talking to the fans. He gets a little so that's my only critique on him at all, because I think I think he has, like I said, he's over. One of the things I want to give him credit for is he's built the way that I think a guy like Daniel Garcia or Wheeler Yuta from AEW should be built. Like if you look, he's not the biggest dude in the world, but he doesn't really he flies a little bit, but he doesn't springboard all over the place. He doesn't do lucha. He does one really athletic top rope move usually throughout it, and it's that 450.
Yeah.
And he's built like he's stocky. He's a well put together dude. And I say it all the time that's kind of the build that I think like this is the best description of the build. I think that like a guy like Daniel Garcia from AEW or Wheeler Yuta from AEW should be built like, because they're two more of the technical side wrestlers that aren't flyers. So there's no reason not to put size on. So this is that thing. But Charlie Sterling is, I got attached to him right off the bat. He's got a great look. He has in-ring work. He has promo skills. This match was great. I really did love this match. I wouldn't be me if I didn't critique it a little bit. I would, the pile driver that Charlie Sterling hit, I would on Darius, I would have sold that just a hair longer. Just let him, do like the nerve cell or something like that, and then go for the pin. One, it gives you the sell of how dangerous that pile driver is. Two, it would have given him that extra second of that's the reason why Darius kicked out of it. But again, I'm nitpicking because that's what I need to do. All around, but like I said, I thought the match was cool. I don't think he needs to do the 450 to set up the sharpshooter, but I like the idea that he trained with Natty and TJ Wilson, and that that's where he picked up the sharpshooter from. And I like the term the sharpest shooter for him. That's kind of cool. And I love that he debuted his own custom belt. That was kind of hot looking.
Yeah. I mean, I'll backpack on everything you said, but if I'm being honest, I think I was more interested in Charlie Sterling. A little more drawn to. I thought he was just a very fun wrestler. I mean, he was a good wrestler to watch.
He's fun,
all-around wrestler. It was just like, yeah, this is a good wrestler.
Yeah, like I could see him working for a major promotion tomorrow. Yeah. He has that type of look about him.
Yeah, and that was my introduction to how they end the matches with their promo stuff too, which I love. Like everyone ends with like, okay, this is what's next, and it was him doing it, and I was like, oh, he's the real deal.
Yeah, like everything, even his catchphrase, like worth every pound.
Worth every pound. I like that too. Yeah.
I love that, and he's trimmed up a little bit. He's already a bigger dude. I think they said he's about 6'3", 6'4", and he's about probably in that 230, 240 range. And he's a good size dude. Like I really like him. I think that's one of those things that I took away. Even in the very beginning, I started with them with their Stay Humble show, and Charlie Sterling caught me there. And I've just kept going with it. But let's move on. The next match was the Simon Miller Open Challenge. I like to point this out every time. Simon Miller is from What Culture and his own YouTube show as well. So he has a little bit of a following, especially with wrestling stuff, even over here in the States. But it was him and the debuting Josh Holly. This was basically a squash match to kind of get Simon Miller back on track. Like they said, he hasn't won a match in months, but he also hasn't lost a match in months. He's just been kind of there. He's been stuck in this Proteus title picture, which I love the fact that the Proteus title is held by Paul Walter Hauser from Cobra Kai and Fantastic Four and Kingdom and all these other shows that I love to watch. But Simon Miller, he's another guy that I'm almost surprised that hasn't gotten a real run. I don't know if he fits the WWE mold as well, but I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a real run with like TNA or even like something small with AEW at this point.
Has he been around for quite a while?
He's been around for a minute. Yeah. Because I've been watching him on YouTube stuff for years, and he's been wrestling the whole time, and he's kind of looked like that the whole time. Like it's not like all of a sudden he got huge. He's been huge this whole time. But
my highlight of that match, and I remember this when Holly called out that it smelled like virginity. That pulled me in.
that was pretty good. And then the commentators going, I don't know if that's really a smell.
Yeah. Is there a smell?
And for anyone who doesn't know, there's absolutely a smell to that. So Legion, I live in Florida, as we have stated. I live in a state that doesn't have basements, but Mr. Brock here lives in Minnesota, and I know they have basements up there. And I know there's some virgins that play World of Warcraft all day long and live in their parents' basements. And that is what virginity smells like.
Well, Holly nailed it there. And I don't know how much you say about the match. It was what, like 38 seconds?
Yeah, like you said, it was a bona fide squash match.
But it was fun. It was
fun.
You just beat the crap out of him real quick. He was done. I like that there wasn't a single comeback at all.
No, it was just what, the two spears and then and then the jackhammer.
And then he was out.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. And Miller likes to hit a lot of power bombs too. Like, he's a big power wrestler, especially like he's kind of the most jacked of the Progress guys. I'll say Progress.
I gotta say, for like a squash match, I loved that one, that there was literally no comeback or anything. It was a true, like, I'm just gonna come and knock you out in one punch. It was Mike Tyson versus anyone.
Yeah, that was I loved it. It was an old school Goldberg match.
Yeah.
It was perfect. All right, so let's go on to a match that was not a squash match whatsoever. And that was the women's world title match with Rio, who is defending her title against, I believe it's a debuting Lucy Sky. I have that's the other thing I really like about watching Progress is I get to see a lot of people that it's not just I haven't seen them because I don't watch. I've only started watching Progress recently. They're debuting there. So there's a lot of these European wrestlers that I've never seen before that I get a chance to watch. And like, obviously I've seen Rio from the last two shows that I've done the reviews for, but I've never seen Lucy Sky. And this match was oof. Did they hit each other?
Yeah. That was a good match.
This was, oh, that's right. And then, I also like that they took a little shot at AEW with this match. They made the little joke right in the beginning because Rio has all those different titles, and they're like, "Oh, it's like she's our own personal CEO."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that in British terms, that was a little cheeky."
Yeah.
So they did this in the first match with Doris and Charlie, and they did it in this match too. I think Doris and Charlie Sterling did it better. They worked the lockup in the beginning of the match, and I love the idea of it, but there's got to be a little bit more push and pull to it. I will say this: the fans were into this match. These two women left their all in this match. They left it in the ring. I'm not taking anything away. They hit like mules in this match. They were beating the crap out of each other. Me personally, I like a match that's a little bit quicker pace. This was a little bit slower and I've seen Rio have quicker pace matches, so it was just a little bit slower pace than I tend to be attracted to. This was a match that it was on the bottom of my part of this show, where I thought they could have moved just a hair quicker with some of the stuff. They could have maybe taken it about a half step quicker. But I take nothing away from them because Rio wins this match with a package file driver. They actually let finishes be finishes. I love that. Like I said, things make sense here. It's weird. They follow the rules of wrestling. But this was, I mean, both these girls, they are well put together women made for pro wrestling. I believe that when they hit each other, they hit each other hard. I believe that when they hit power moves, they hit power moves the right way. I don't have to believe that the 102-pound girl lifted up the 200-pound girl. Like, I don't. These two girls made it look like they were in a struggle. They did everything right. Like I said, the pace just left a little bit to be wanted from me. But that's not to say this wasn't a good match. It was just not my favorite match on the card.
Sure. I gotta say that one. I mean, Lucy Sky impressed me. I didn't love her look when she came out. I feel like she was just kind of in the middle of which way you want to go. Like, I think almost not to critique too much size wise. She was just kind of an awkward one. And then, but she backed it all up. I mean, the way she wrestled was like, yeah, you got some power to you, but she also had moves.
Yeah.
Like she could twist. That was like there was. I learned a few moves watching this one. I'll say there was a pretty cool variety of stuff that just I'd never seen.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not taking anything away from the match. Like I said, it's just not. It wasn't necessarily my favorite match on the card.
Sure.
And
one of them's got to be the worst, right?
Yeah, like something has to be like not my favorite.
Yeah.
And I definitely like this. I like Rio. I really do. I think she has a very, very different look compared to what we as American fans kind of get used to seeing for pro wrestlers nowadays, and or female pro wrestlers. So it was kind of nice.
She
like
has good promo stuff too at the end. She got a good one.
She does cut good promos. Like I said, she's got star power written on. There's a couple of these people that they just have star power written all over them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at Ricky Knight Jr. versus Owada-san. This was a nice little match. This seemed a little bit more like what I would see on a normal indie show, though. This felt a little bit more like, hey, this was a good match, but it was a normal, 7 to 9 minute indie match that I might see in America, maybe. And I'm not taking anything away. That doesn't mean that it was a bad match. It just means that's what I was used to seeing when I was on the indies myself.
What I'm about to say might give some credence. I'm trying to remember this match. Was Ricky Knight Jr., did he have a beard?
He had the beard, and he had the gold chain and the sleeve, and then Owada-san was the Japanese guy that...
Yeah.
And they started off with all the chops. Like I said, it was not a bad match, and RKJ, Ricky Knight Jr., he's essentially British wrestling royalty at this point. So he is Saraya Paige, whatever you want to call her. That's her nephew.
Okay.
So he's a third generation wrestler because their Paige and her brothers, their father and mother are also both pro wrestlers. So like it's basically the Hearts.
You know what's funny? When he had Junior in his name, I was like, you better be related to someone. Like if you're going to put something like that, now it makes sense.
Yeah, so like that's the thing is he's essentially British royalty at this point, or British wrestling royalty. And he's good. They're both very good. I would, like I said, I didn't dislike this match. This was honestly, this was probably my least favorite match just because it was a match I could have seen anywhere. I would have liked to have seen Owada-san be booked with someone else and give him the win, because the last two shows he's been on, he got booked with, he wrestled Charlie Sterling last month, and they're both basically heels. So it was a real weird dynamic. And then I know that everyone is pushing Ricky Knight Jr. to the moon right now because he's got the Japanese connection stuff going on, and he's wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah and all that stuff. So they're not going to slow down his train to let Owada-san get in front of him for a second. Owada-san has a great look. He's one of those guys that I could have seen him wrestling just somebody else and getting a win, and it would have been okay. It's just, you just got to figure out what's more important, getting Ricky Knight on this show or getting Owada-san a win over somebody else. Like, I think that would have been where we need to go with it. Like I said, it's not a bad match. It was just a normal 7-minute indie match. Like you say yourself, you barely remember this match.
Yeah.
Now the match that I'm sure you were looking forward to, and that was from the Moth Dogs, Mr. Gene Money defending his Atlas Championship against the big boy, Will Cruz. So Brock, I say this every time I review it because I love this stipulation of it, or the gimmick of the Atlas title. The Atlas title is the anti-cruiserweight title.
Okay.
You have to be a heavyweight wrestler to wrestle for it. You have to be over like 215 pounds. And I love it. And these are two guys that are both heavyweight wrestlers. They're large men. and I know you like Cruz, and Cruz is over with a fan. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that because I'm not totally sold on him right now, and I don't know what it is that I can't get past in my own brain.
Part of it, which really sucked me in, and it was that 100-volt one with him right away, and I think it was the first match in that one too, was that he had the soccer chant, and I loved it. Right, Will Cruz, like. I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, that just totally drew me in. And seeing how over he was with the fans, I'm like, I love this guy too. And it was a fun three-way match, the one I watched before.
Yeah.
And, for me, it was the storyline so far in that one was so good. I didn't know what anything was going on. And then we talked about this at the beginning, the promo they did with the Wonder Years stuff to, like, recap everything. I was like, this is great. I've seen this guy twice now. But I feel like, I saw everything that happened the years before, everything building up. I was drawn right back in. And it was fun. And Cruz being able to do stuff off top ropes. Like, that's fun.
I do like that. I don't take away anything that he can do in the ring. I think and again, this sounds the aesthetic of Cruz, and I don't mean his size or how he's built or anything like that. There are certain things in wrestling that catch me. And it's very much that in the ring, even when he's supposed to be fired up, he has what I refer to as same face. Like if you ever look, his facial expression, even though like you can tell he's supposed to be mad or like happy or fired up or whatever it is, it's still kind of this. And it might be something as simple as that, where if I could get a better description of emotion out of him, I might come full circle with him. And I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to discount these guys. I know how hard both of these guys worked in the ring. The match overall was really good. They had the fans involved. I actually like Gene Money. I think he's super entertaining. And Martha Martina that comes out to the ring with him, she's super entertaining as well. Like I've been following her for a couple years, so she used to do a thing.
What's with the taped nipples?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's just something about being like up, like some type of party stuff over there. Again, some of the stuff they do is a little weird sometimes.
My assumption, and I like not even joking, is like I bet he does it like for chafing reasons, right?
Maybe, I don't know. He tore it off at some point.
But it does, yeah. Both matches I've seen it when it comes off, so I don't know if that's part of the whatever.
I don't know. It's funny because I was wondering it myself. And
that's maybe what he's sitting back there doing. He wants us to have this conversation, right?
Yeah, like, hey, watch this. I'm going to tape my nipples. I'm not going to tell anybody why, and everyone's going to ask why.
I like that. That's a good one.
It's like when we were talking about the guy having who was it? Kyle Fletcher's old tag team partner, because he had Dunkzilla on his trunks, and we were like, maybe he just really likes Dunkaroos.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. I did like at the end of this match though too. They had the passing of the torch moment.
Yeah,
I like that. I think this might be Gene Money, because he does. They said they kept saying it in commentary that he does a lot of training. Like he trains other wrestlers a lot. I think this might be a little bit of him maybe taking a step back. Him getting over on Mike DeVecchio last month gives him that little bit of that nudge. Like, look, I was finally able to win the big one, and now I'm giving it to the guy that I think deserves it. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to sit in the background a little bit and make sure like matches are better. For all I know, he might start doing like agent and producing stuff for Progress. Because it sounds like he'd be good at it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he put together this match, because he seems like that type of guy. Let's talk about my favorite guy on Progress. No, it's not Alexander Lockhart, although I did like his I do like the debuting of different guys. There are a couple different debuts on this show.
Yeah, there was a lot.
But I to the effing love Cara Noir, the Royal Black Swan. I liked him as a babyface. I liked him. I now like him as a heel still. I said something in my very first review, and Mr. Brock, now that you are here, I'm going to say to you, I was wrong in my first assumption of him. The first time I saw him, I said, this is such a cool gimmick. I don't know if it would get over in the States, though. And I am changing my mind. I think he is proving me wrong that he's so over with me. I think they could get this over. It might not be world championship material, but I think this could work as a new school Goldust. So I keep saying, and I say it with full respect, that like he could pull this off like a new school Goldust, like maybe have it be a little bit of an ambiguous character and things like that. And this guy, Alexander Lockhart. Alexander Lockhart was kind of the perfect guy for them to come in and just let Cara Noir decimate, because they needed to get him a win so that they could get him into the title picture or back into the world title picture. And they just needed to put somebody in there that the fans would like more after he got the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah.
And give him a little, he was an underneath babyface that got a little bit of shine in there, and then just got trampled by Cara Noir. So I what did you think of this match? I'm drooling on this one. So,
well, I might make you drool longer because I think I'm going to flip it on you, kind of what you did with Will Cruz. You got to sell me more on this guy, because I liked the match, but when you said he was your number one guy, that's kind of a big statement out of you. So I want you need to convince me why I should have liked it more.
So I think it's a little bit more, it's less this match and more the last 3 months of me watching him now.
Okay.
I think it's because, so like the first time I watched him, it was, like I said, the Stay Humble one. Let's see if I have a date. I don't have a date for that, but he actually wrestled Charlie Sterling in that match. And they did a phenomenal job. And out of both of them, that was kind of where I got high on Charlie Sterling.
Okay.
But even the stuff they did, like some of the stuff was them attacking Cara Noir's like ankle because he wrestles barefoot and like things like that. I was like, oh, that's really cool. But like he does a lot of really cool athletic stuff. And they talk very highly of him, how during pandemic and stuff, he was kind of the guy that shouldered progress. He was their champion that stayed their champion during that time when nothing was able to happen. So I started really getting into like the backstory of that. And Cara Noir does something at the end of the match. It's a heel thing that British heel wrestlers do, and us Americans never understand it. And I only started to understand it in the last 7, 8, 9 years, because I wrestled on the independents with a guy named Jeffrey Bravo, and Jeffrey Bravo's entire gimmick was that he was a British wrestler, even though he was not British. And one of the things that he would do is he would do that reverse peace sign. And Mr. Brock, do you know the significance of the reverse peace sign?
I don't know. For me now, it's like I'm watching you, but
no. So the reverse peace sign in British culture is like giving the finger. And the reason why is it goes all the way back to medieval times. It was a symbol that archers used to give to like say, like, if you were an archer and you got caught doing something you weren't supposed to be doing, the king would have your fingers cut off. So it used to be like, as they would drive, like kind of how when you drive past work and you flip off your job, that was what they would do. They would show the 2 fingers, like, look what I got, look what I got. So Cara Noir does it at the end. And I love like little simple gestures like that. Like, oh, all right. I like it. I like that little, again, it's one of those things that kind of how you said you like getting engulfed into the culture of the British side of this. I'm trying to do the same, and I like that Cara Noir kind of encompasses that a little bit with that. So I like him. I'm looking forward to, because if you look, if you go back and watch Stay Humble, at the end of his match, he's just frustrated. And like you could see it, like, I'm on a 4-match losing streak. I went from being the best guy in the company to now losing 4 straight. I don't know what to do. I'm frustrated. I don't want anyone's help. Just everyone stay away from me. To last month, he loses again. Who did he wrestle last? Last month, he wrestled Ricky Knight Jr. and they had a really good match, and he loses again. And he kind of just snaps, and like he ends up taking off like his knee pads and like wipes off the makeup, and everyone was like, is this him retiring? And then at the end of the show, when Darius wins the world title at the end of the show, he comes out in the face paint that you see here with like more of the red glitter around the eyes, and jumps Darius and like snaps and hits him with a rear naked choke and like just puts him out. And like just stares psychotic. Like it's just that straight like Sting Crow look, like just and just telling that story with his eyes. So I've seen the end of the evolution into this. And I think that's why I kind of like what Cara Noir is doing right now. He's being the very, very evil heel. He's not going to back away from the fight, but he's also he's not afraid to cheat. And I kind of dig that right now. It's a very Randy Orton move, if you ask me.
Sure.
But let's get into the main event, Mr. Brock. And this was a loser leaves progress match between two people. Again, they did a great job with the cinematic part of this, as far as letting us know the backstory of Kanji and Nina Samuels. What did you think of that part of it? Because I know you liked the stuff they did with the Will Cruz and Gene Money thing. This was a little bit more of the traditional cold open for a wrestling match.
And they did some like feels like they brought the fans into this one with some like fan footage criticizing, which I think is always cool.
I did like that.
Yeah, it helps tell the story. I don't know what else to say. It did set it. I mean, there wasn't like this crazy backstory like the other one with the family as much, I felt like, but it was just setting up a very good, I don't want to call it a grudge match, but settle it once for all match. What do you call that?
Yeah. This would be a grudge match.
Grudge match, then, okay.
This would be a grudge match.
Setup, and then I think the match played out exactly how it should have from that setup. I mean, it was great. They were fighting.
Oh, they beat the crap out of each other. And where I had said the Rio Lucy Sky match was a little bit too slow, this was the speed I like.
Yeah, this was fast. It was nonstop.
This kept going. This was boom, boom, boom. I like Nina. This is the first time I've really gotten to see Nina Samuels too, and I really liked her stuff as well. She's got a really interesting look. I wouldn't be surprised if the idea of the loser leaves is because she's going on to do some bigger, better things in pro wrestling.
That's what I was wondering too. Because I was shocked it was her with the setup, obviously, and I didn't know anything about her until then. But she obviously seemed like the big star. But then that was my first thought when she left on it was a nice goodbye to the fans, too. I mean, she still got a little goodbye. I thought, shoot, where am I going to see her next?
I wouldn't be surprised if she's like AEW bound or something like that. I feel like although I think they all just did try out for WWE, so she might be an NXT bound. But she has a real interesting look, too, because she has some height on her, too, it looks like. Like, she had a little bit of height and like a little bit of size in that way. So we'll see what happens. Kanji is interesting to me. She reminds me of there's an independent wrestler that Izzy Moreno. And the way she kind of got fame originally was she was the Psycho fan sort of thing. So Bailey, when she was still in NXT and doing her hugger gimmick, Izzy was her number one fan. Like, she sat in the same seat at the NXT arena every time with like the same bows in her hair that Bailey would wear, and then she became like she ended up going to get like she's got like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu now, and like she's like like she went from being a 10-year-old girl to being like a 20-year-old woman, and like pro and like independent pro wrestler, and purple belt in jiu-jitsu that does competitions and stuff like that. And I'm like, what when did that happen? Like time. But she has, I don't know, when I look at Kanji, I get that same feeling, like she looks like Izzy Moreno basically. I would like Kanji to, if she's going to do, and I get it, guys. I know it's a work. I've been in the business for a long time. I understand it's all a work. But if she's going to throw some of those jujitsu style or MMA style submissions on there, I would like them to look more like they would look in real life. Like if you were actually throwing it on. I noticed it with the triangle choke. She like she wasn't actually locked in at all. So and I get you don't want to lock it in because you don't want to actually choke somebody, but you gotta lock it in well enough where there's no air in between. Like you can't. It was a little loose. But again, I'm nitpicky. And Mr. Brock can attest to this. This is who I am. I'm always going to be the guy that I'll sandwich it by telling you how great something was, and then I'll find a nitpick and hey, like you can do this better, and then I'll tell you, oh, but also you did this awesome as well. I do it to him all the time.
Yeah.
But no, I thought this was. I also like that this was the main event. Like this was the most important match on the card, and they put and they made sure like. It'd be dumb to have someone else follow this. Like what were you going to have follow this? Like you could have had the only thing I was thinking was somehow they were going to do, because I had seen some of the video stuff of Doris coming out after the Cara Noir match to set up their stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe they put that on last, but I don't know. And then I realized that Lockhart was debuting. So I'm like, oh, they're not going to. They're not putting that on over this. This is the last match. So I like the way this show flows all around. I mean, if you're not going to have your world champion go out last, have him go out first. I like that idea. You get that pop from the crowd. You start them off hot with a good match with him and Charlie Sterling, and then you end them hot with a great match with Kanji and Nina Samuels. So all around, I thought that was kind of perfect. I don't see, like I said, I don't see any problem with how they did this. I thought the show flowed perfectly. What are your thoughts on this one, Monsieur Brock?
I'm a Progress fan now, man. I loved it. It's even more fun hearing you talk about it after, honestly, because you explained so much to me of why I liked it. But you're usually right. It's like, oh yeah, I did like it for that reason. And great note at the end. I love that when you have to leave, any match we have to leave, have that be the last one. Yeah, I've seen. I mean, it happens quite a bit around here on some of the indie shows. But like, make it a real goodbye. Like he has to leave. Done. Show's over. You're gone. Even when you're doing it that way, right? Well, and it adds a little more of the credence to it.
Yeah.
And not just that. It's like it's the end of the story. This guy's done.
This was the big, like this match had the most amount of story to it.
Yeah.
You could argue this or the Will Cruz match, and this one apparently has gone on for a couple years. You know, like they've been feuding since it sounds like 2023. So like that's like a 2-year build to this that you've been going back and forth and starting and stopping, and it sounds like Nina Samuels was kind of, and she was the bigger star. So you end with this, and she's leaving, and she's going on to do whatever she's doing.
Well, and one thing I love, and I know, I mean, their high level indie scene is like putting the work in to explain the stories for the new fans is incredible. I wish there was more value put on it. Like, there's honestly a reason that I post little 6-second clips of the indie guys around here with a 1-sentence talk noise about who they fought. Just because I'm like, you missed it this week. That's who they fought. So next time they fight, like, they already, I mean, you get so lost with all these promotions around here. But that one, again, that was the first full show I watched. Other than the 100 volts, I didn't finish the whole thing. Just kind of bounced around. But I felt like I was like, yeah, I'm a Progress guy now.
Yeah,
I don't need to go back and watch 10 more to be all in. I'm gonna, but like I could start right now, and I feel fine just picking up, saying I'm a Progress fan. I'll fill in the rest of it as I go, and I'm sure they'll fill me in quickly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you wanted to go back and watch like some of the cool stuff that they've done in the past, that's different. That's just watching cool matches from the past.
Yeah.
Like I want to go back and watch some of their stuff with Leon Slater because I love Leon Slater, and apparently he started out here. So I'm like,
really?
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do this.
Little side note: when the Hardy Boys came to the academy and were doing a seminar for us, well, that's their favorite guy too now at TNA.
Yeah, well, he's amazing. Yeah, because he's amazing. And he just recently teamed with my favorite guy in NXT, and that's Javon Evans.
Yeah.
They're such a nice breath of fresh air in the pro wrestling business. How they do stuff. It's very different than how everyone else is doing stuff. So I'm like, awesome. Thank you for being different. Thank you for being different in a good way. Let me clarify that one.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was Camden Lockup. The one last thing, I love that in the opening match when Darius and Sterling locked up, the commentator goes, "Well, that's the first lockup you'll see, it lockup." And I was like, nice. I'd make that bad joke. I appreciate that. Oh, but Mr. Brock, I loved having you back, brother. I think we need to do this again for Progress all the time. Me and you.
I'll jump on to Progress anytime.
I think you and I should just keep reviewing Progress. And like I said, Legion, start tuning in to Mr. Brock's show. You heard it here worst. I will be advertising that a bit more. Mr. Brock, you got anything going on wrestling-wise, life-wise that you want to promote real quick?
No, just getting back into my training hard again. I had my last match middle of September, and then I took a week off, and then a cold hit, so I've been out for a couple weeks. So I'm stoked that I feel well enough to finally go back to that. I don't know. I mean, a couple months I'll get back in the ring, but I'm excited to just get back in podcasting. That's the biggest thing. Missed it. I definitely missed it. I knew one day our roads would lead back to each other.
I knew it.
It was written long before, and so I was just waiting for the phone call, and it came through. So we'll get the ball rolling on that, brother.
We're gonna start doing that, and also Legion. It's official. We will, in fact, be having merchandise out soon. I will this week, even the week of October 5th. We will start having merchandise. The first is going to be a hat that I will be promoting on our show to preview Crown Jewel for WWE. I will make sure that we have it out on that. And as always, guys, I appreciate Legion. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. However you are obtaining your information from us, obviously. Remember, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the comments. Tell a friend. As Showtime says, if you don't have a friend, tell a stranger. And guys, remember, as always, tuck your chin when you bump.